But hey, New York, New York.
Oh, we were in an empire state of mind for a good while.
Were we?
Yeah,
I think we were just. I think we were just hungry most of the time. I think the empire state of mind was just hunger.
Do you have any good street meat?
Yeah.
Because
That was more intense than I expected.
No, because I did.
Since he's on keto, guess what? He can only get street meat.
It was really cool because
What about food?
yeah, that happened too. Though it was mostly picking apart sandwiches, but
Oh, you're an asshole.
why am I not?
He has to.
Picking apart a sandwich makes you a dirtbag.
But he has to.
I don't
You're
have
shitting on the sandwich.
No,
But he
the bread
can't
is no
eat the
good.
bread. That's the whole point.
I deal with enough of this crap at home.
That's
I don't
fine.
need to deal with this at work.
Hey,
You're not.
Hey, I understand. However, trying not to die is more important.
No, it isn't.
So you can keep the integrity of the sandwich together and continue dying.
Good.
I'll work on
Good.
the opposite.
Good.
Okay.
I'll be dead.
I'll draw those
That'll
lines.
teach you.
But you would have liked this, though.
My life
When
for
Willie
a
was
sandwich,
eating that
says
stuff,
Pat.
I was eating like pretzel pizzas in his face.
Good.
And shit.
That's
was
the best
great.
part.
No, here's what's up.
Wait, what the hell is a pretzel pizza?
It's like at Auntie Anne's, they have like this big pretzel, and they just put mozzarella cheese and stick pepperonis on it. It's fucking, it's amazing.
What was cool
Fishy
is
pretzel too.
abomination.
No, it's amazing.
what was cool was that the street meat carts, which we don't have here because we're not allowed because restaurant corruption. Always a
Yeah.
fan. Thanks, Montreal.
Don't worry. There's plenty of other business corruption to go around.
Oh, for sure, but that's one of the bad ones because
It directly like helps you out.
well, it's like
hungry or
well, basically
thirsty.
like the whole Uber thing. Uber might be like is going away in Montreal. It's like, yeah, okay, officially, but they're just going to continue to operate as they were.
No, they're probably
going to
be gone.
I mean, the app was unofficially for 2 years before they set it out here, so it's probably going to continue. Either way,
Enjoy being arrested.
we'll see. but like it's the same kind of problem. Montreal has this issue where it's like, hey, no street meat allowed, no street carts allowed. Why? Oh, well, for health reasons, which is a public security issue, right?
Looks good on the surface.
Sure. And then you're like, okay, cool. And then you go, well, we can actually have health inspectors verify that and check up regularly to make sure it's not a problem.
Sorry, I can't hear you. I'm going into a tunnel.
Oh,
Bye.
no. Oh, well, no, it's about how our city's visual aesthetic is being compromised by these things on the street corners. We don't want to have
There's
our pretty
tons of fucking ugly
European
shit all over
our
the
pretty
streets.
European-looking city can't be like compromised by these street carts. No, that's a bad thing. And it's like, yeah, but other cities that have this in their core have not like compromised any of that at all. Plus, you have ice cream carts going and
Yeah,
biking
they do
around,
have ice cream
setting up in the same spots all the time. So clearly, that's not the issue. What's the real issue?
Okay, so you can have food trucks, but it can only go to to
Designated
already existing
Locations,
restaurants.
right?
Like the Olympic Stadium
And
like in a park,
Place
maybe.
des Arts
Yeah, that's it.
and the part and the
all
old
I know.
port front,
Yeah,
waterfront.
that's it.
And you're like, so what's that about? So now you're willing to let it happen? And it's like, okay, but only if you have a real brick and mortar restaurant too. Why?
Yeah.
What does that have to do with anything? And you just you peel back the layers of bullshit and you find out that it's because restaurant owners in Montreal formed a lobby and they don't want competition.
Hey, man.
Then they just barked and took control
gnashed.
for years to just basically go, no, we don't want competition, so we're going to put arbitrary rules in place. And if you apply to get a truck, you have to get approved by a board of people that all own
The
restaurants.
elders, the robot elders of Montreal.
who you're competing with.
Old robots.
So they get to just say no to anybody arbitrarily at any time. So it's bullshit,
Man,
right?
the all-time favorite Montreal, like, nonsensical bureaucracy corrupt to fucks is the metro system when they were extending it up north.
Yeah, that was a
It's
fun
like,
one.
whoops, we accidentally dug like 30 extra kilometers so that it would happen to be right next to this local
Centre Laval.
businessman's
Hey,
mini
cool.
mall.
New stations, you guys. It was a mistake, but
We already spent the money digging it. We
might as well build two stations.
That really pisses me off because it goes to Laval. Who cares? It should go into the West Island more.
Yeah,
Well,
but
then
no.
So fucking
They're
convenient.
building one.
When I'm
Next
dead?
year.
When they accidentally
No, they're
embezzle
building
the funds.
They're building a high-speed rail system to the West Islanders.
So
They
yeah,
better.
we've heard.
They
We've
better.
heard.
We'll
But
see.
it's so
That
like
means we're going to get all those West Islanders.
it's just so
Well,
like
just so I can visit my family.
Yeah, I
in
know.
corruption in this city, and like the Uber thing as a whole is the same kind of thing. Where just like
the exact
people have been ride sharing on Craigslist for years, but what's going on over here? What's that? People meeting up? Oh, can I get my hand in this pie?
I would like to get inside.
Can you allow me to wet my beak? Anyway.
Love wet your beak. You love saying that
has he been doing it now?
No, he just says it every so often.
Well, it's the fucking Italian Godfather thing to do.
Seeing your behavior. It's like when you see a fighting game player and they have certain behavior. You just love busting out that normal.
He comes into our territory and does not allow us to wet our beaks.
Exactly, because it's from something like that. Exactly.
It was Godfather.
So do you remember? I remember Matt and I were looking at these things, and we were looking at the earthquake damage in Japan a few years ago, right? And you saw these highways that had been sundered, right? The highway that one part is now 10 feet higher than the other part of the highway, and then you saw the picture of it a week later, and it was perfect and beautiful and fine. As I look out in front of my street to see 10 guys standing around while one guy with a cherry picker just slowly grates at the street to make it good for snow removal.
Hey, man.
And it takes 3 fucking days.
Hey, man. That guy's been a hole watcher for 3 generations in his family. His father was a hole watcher.
Because we can bitch about cabs and restaurants and shit, but the fact that the fucking construction lasts all year until winter and isn't done, so it has to be redone next year.
My favorite is not too far from here. There's a little mart that opened up, and it's called Kmart or something. Not Kmart, but
you know what? Yeah.
L Mart, something like that. It's just a little
bullshit
grocery store you go in, and it's got alcohol, it's got food, it's got whatever, and it says grand opening. It has a little cute sign, but it's hard to see, and it's at the bottom of a big apartment building. Not more than 2 days later, they put all the tarps and shit, and they'll have all the overhangs. You cannot see the front entrance, and there's 17 cherry pickers and 1,000 guys looking at the cherry pickers. And it's been like that for the last 2 months now.
Yeah.
And this place, all it can now have is one tiny side entrance with one little sign that says, here, please.
The best.
We're open.
I was looking up.
God.
I was looking up a fucking article a while ago. It's what best cities to live in Canada, right? And Montreal, Toronto, and Vancouver pretty much top the list, right? Montreal and Vancouver fight each other on a couple things, but Montreal loses the heart. It's the worst city to own a business in the entire country because of that.
Really?
Because of what you just said.
Yeah.
Because you open your business, and then for 3 years, the road to your business is gone.
And much further up on Saint Denis, they had everything closed, and they were just doing the road, and they have no sidewalks in front of the businesses, and it had to be the businesses are open. Sure, we're blocking almost every possible way to get in them, but they're open, and you just gotta it expects pedestrians to do work they shouldn't have to do.
The best is how what was it? I want to say 3 years ago, our mayor got super in trouble for massive collusion and corruption.
Oh, yeah?
And they're this dude was involved super dealing with the
super
gangs.
Deal.
And had millions of dollars and whatnot. And they yanked him and fucking put him through the ringer. But they didn't stop the deals.
No.
Yeah.
They got a figurehead.
But
the deals
dry.
continue.
Deals are done.
And business is fucking usual. No show jobs, all the rest. Anyway, it's crazy.
In this town.
It's crazy.